Good morning, everybody. How we're doing? I left a few messages there. Hi, Skinny Radish. Hi, Jenna Hopkins, patron saint of this channel, saviour, coming in with a super chat donation. Thank you. And now I can see the little graphics, which is brilliant on eCam. Fist bump. Yeah, fist bump. There we go. It is I typed in, so on ChatGPT for the thumbnail, I typed in "Escape from New York" type scene. So that's kind of what I wanted. In fact, that's actually the NAMM show 2050. So yes. Also, I've got a couple of free coaching sessions for anybody who's interested in coaching, the coaching group or anything like that. If you want to do a free half-an-hour coaching call, it's there for anybody. So that's the other thing. So I'll jump on that. Jenna, you've still got a free coaching session if you so wish. Hi Chili, how you doing? So Chili, you must prefer Twitch to YouTube. I'm imagining. But morning anyway. Other than that, you know, if there's anything you want to ask about guitar playing, I'll see if I can help in my limited capacity. Although I've had some pretty cool breakthroughs. I was just playing one today, just before coming on this live, and I was doing this little lick, which has got a bit of an outside thing. But it's these movements, being able to contract and compress the hand. Right, okay, Chili, that's cool. So yeah. Whoops. Trying to get those hands warmed up. So yeah, compressing and expanding the hands are really cool technique to do. But I think we'll just play a little bit of synthwave-ish stuff, and I can get warmed up. Ba-boom. We're in E minor. Alright, rough day here in LA and a bubble bath for a lesson shred. Fair enough. Just backing track. Oh, dodgy switch. Hi Kagami, how are you doing? Thank you, Kagami. And anybody please like, well, let's have some more likes in the chat there. Some more thumbs up. Hi Rob. I'm starting to daydream now. Five minutes is a long time. 5.5 minutes is a long time to be jamming over something, especially when I haven't had much coffee this morning. Right, so how's it going, everybody? Okay, so Kurt is I'm working in my practice an hour before work. Moving job, better hours. That's brilliant. Excellent. So Kurt, I wonder if you've been doing your wins, problems and opportunities, not putting you on the spot or anything. If it's any consolation, I haven't done mine. However, I've been intensely working on the melodic minor scale. So there's like outside playing and melodic minor are now something that's coming into my vocabulary somehow. I'm going to try and fit it in. But I'm starting to like get interested. I'm not jazz, right? That's the first thing, right? And I'm not really fusion. But actually, one of my favourite solos, to give you an idea of where I kind of sit ideally. So my favourite guitar solo is Push Comes to Shove, Van Halen. And that must have been, actually, because Eddie Van Halen was really inspired by UK in the Alan Holdsworth solo in The Dead of Night. And actually you can hear some similarities, I think, the way that sort of solo is structured. A lot of what Alan was doing when he was in the band UK. And I've only become recently aware of UK, but I can hear how a lot of 80s guitarists like Alan Murphy and people that were inspired about that period of Alan Holdsworth. And because like Alan Murphy was an influence on me as a child playing guitar, I can see how some of that is like caught onto my playing, but it's actually the DNA of it's from sort of Alan Holdsworth. But in The Dead of the Night, it's well worth having a look at that basically that band in The Dead of Night. It's on YouTube. And when I see them dressed in all the kind of 70s gear, and then Alan's playing sort of like doing stuff with a whammy bar, it's like the guitar's so futuristic for that time. It's amazing. It's such a... But anyway, that influenced like Eddie, and Eddie started doing that sort of outside kind of thing. So at least that's when you can really hear it in a sort of fusiony jazz kind of way, for me. So I think that's the sort of outside sound I like when he does those runs, and that's what I would like to some extent in my playing. So at some point there'll be, you know, sidestepping, if we've heard of that, where you just basically play whatever it is you play, usually pentatonics, like a semitone either above and below, so there's that sort of thing. But then you can start getting into real sort of like outside pentatonic substitution. So I've been messing about with things where, I'm not going to do it today, where if you just got a static groove and you would typically play like a minor or a Dorian sort of thing, you can actually, people going about the 5 chord and then using the altered scale, well, you can just go ahead and use the altered scale for that sort of like really outside sort of sound. So you can kind of hear it like... that sort of thing. So I'm kind of playing a little bit of a pentatonic. And then pulling it badly in tune. So I'd say it's just been like little things like that working. Reread. When I saw Alan Holdsworth live in UK in Chicago, a lot of his guitar solos sounded like he was playing a saxophone. It was really interesting. Yeah, and I do love that sound. And I've been doing a lot of work trying to get just on picking dynamics, you know. And it's really interesting because you've really got to use gravity to get it going and to kind of have that really soft pick attack. You can see how sort of graceful my hand goes. I've never thought I'd be using that word with me. In fact, like when I'm doing that sort of stuff, I go into like economy motion with my right hand, but even though I'm doing legato. And then there's just the total kind of cheap way of doing it, where I can just basically just do left hand only. But yeah, I wish I was able to see him live, but he just like wasn't. I mean, I was listening to Alan Holdsworth, but I wasn't as really into his stuff as I am now. I mean, I've got transcripts down there, and I look at them. And last time I had a look at them, it was like "Devil Take the Hindmost," and what's the other one? Metal Fatigue. And like honestly, I mean, I'm pretty good on my harmony, but I couldn't recognise any shapes that he was playing. I couldn't relate them to any sort of scales or anything like that. I was just completely lost. So I'm not grown up enough yet. Right, let's see if I can do that with a pick. Hi Chris. Hi Chris, how you doing? Hit like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Anybody there who isn't subscribed, please subscribe. Excellent, thanks, Reread. Well, that was 7.5 minutes. That was a journey, wasn't it? Oh, zoom out. God, my hair's a mess today. Oh. Are you interested in touring or auditioning? You're so I don't know. I mean, it would have to be an amazing offer, because like I have an amazing job as a musician. Like, I'm so lucky. Well, actually, I say look, it was a lot of skill was involved. But like I work in the NHS, which is the National Health Service, as a therapeutic musician, which is a bit like a music therapist, really. Except I focus in on vocation rather than psychology. So I'll collaborate with, well, sometimes with psychology, but with occupational therapy mainly. Sometimes speech and language, but it would have to be an amazing offer. I could nip out, I could take a bit of holiday and like go for a world tour here and there. That wouldn't be a problem. I could take unpaid leave. And me and Thomas did go on tour, and I went to the NAMM show, and I'm a Strandberg artist, so I'm kind of geared up. You know, I'm ready to go. I wonder, what band would you see me playing in though? At least a freebie. Yeah, chocolate packet of crisps and a can of Coke. Yes, I toured with Dragon Force with my band McRocklin and Hutch. Except I was playing keyboards. Does that count? Santana. Can I explain how music correlates with therapy? Yes, so it's complicated. So basically a lot of my practice is what you call trauma informed. So ideally, depending where somebody is being ill, I basically come up with a music intervention that fits with them. So if you're very, very ill and you can't communicate and there's no speech there, then basically I would come along and potentially with a guitar and start playing sort of music, and then work with body movement, eye movement. People might do like tonal grunts. And the idea there is, especially with patients who have severe learning difficulties and no communication skills, period, it's what we call intensive interaction. And what you can do there is you can give them ownership of the session. So when they start interacting, they become sort of the boss and the author of what's happening, and it's incredibly empowering. So when you think of patients who are like that, all day long they're kind of being told what to do, and sometimes when their needs aren't met and people don't understand what they're trying to communicate, it can be quite frustrating for them. So having a session like this is very empowering for them, and it also can like de-escalate any sort of potential behaviour. So that's one thing. So that would be the very sort of demanding end of it, and then really it just kind of goes through into almost a standard music lesson, really, for people who are kind of getting ready to get well and leave and go into the community. But intensive interaction, that's sort of my special move. I think that's the most sort of thing that I think people would find strange. But it's basically all my principles of coaching like go into this. So when I'm coaching people, you know, I'm thinking of there's probably a couple of different lenses that I mainly use. One is conditions of success, which I've talked about quite extensively on here. So rather than thinking of like music as a skill focus, thinking about all of the skills that you can learn from music that are transferable. So how to create good habits routine, how to manage your environment. My favourite section, which I always say, is working with decision making. So understanding insight and analysis and how those two things work together, and how you can use them to your advantage, especially in a creative situation. Dealing with boredom, so taking ownership of your session and ownership of responsibilities. Dealing with fear, so that's a big one, because I mean for all of us, even when you're writing music, when you come to finishing a piece of music, technically mixing, that convergent thinking can be very stressful, because you're connecting a piece of work to the outside, and at that point, because of our tribal mentality, we can worry about what people are going to say. So fear is another thing that I deal with quite a lot, and then obviously community. And we have focus as well. So it's like all those areas. And then there's modularizing of creativity. So that's just understanding like what processes happen within a divergent and convergent thinking. I could go on for ages. So Donald, that was a good question, but I don't want to bore everybody. But pretty much the same principles apply when I'm coaching. And I did actually put, if anybody wants a free coaching session who are generally interested in being coached but just think, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure about that. It's all a bit wicky-wacky and woohoo, man. But if you're wanting coaching, I'm one of the few music coaches that genuinely are out there. So it's, you know, it's a rarity. Because people get it People get it wrong, you know. People think coaching's teaching, and it's not. I'm interested in helping you facilitate your own skills. I'm not interested in teaching you anything new. I'll do it on here though. And if you get a guitar lesson with me, I would also teach. But coaching session, that's where the real value is. That's where you're going to get clarity for everything. When you get coached, you think, all right, I now know what skills I need in order to create my own unique voice, as people say. It's a bit of a buzzword, that, isn't it? And to just get better and amazing and possibly carve a music career out. There's a few of us, so there's Mike Monday, and then there's the coaches that he trained. Alex Joel's one of them. I think Keith Mills is another, but they're all music technology related, really. For the hardcore pure coaching session, where you just sat in the room and I ask you questions and you reflect, that would be me. Or Mike. But I'm constantly developing my coaching practice along with psychology at the minute, so it's a good time because I'm really enjoying my coaching sessions. Bit awkward, that. So what's interesting about that track I played, it's in G Mixolydian, so technically in my kind of logic I just play A minor. And I just kept going with that really, so A minor pentatonic scale. Sounded really good, and for a little bit of outside flavour, that flat 5 worked really well. And all the sort of usual arpeggios and stuff were pretty cool. I'm actually interested. Do you need to give the abridged version as to... Yeah. No, I wouldn't call myself a therapist because I don't deal with medical conditions or psychological conditions as such. So I wouldn't specifically work at, say, if you were anorexic, I wouldn't be doing sessions based around that, and I wouldn't be kind of getting into sort of helping somebody specifically with that problem, although I would work with somebody who's got anorexia. But it would be more on the vocation, it would be more about getting them connected to the outside world rather than dealing with the illness. And in terms of sort of like engaging with something, an activity or something like that, like I'll usually be the first person often. As there's such a dynamic range of interventions that I have. Very good. Client for me. Sounds good. Well, you can put them in touch. I pinned my email here, so there's the 30-minute free session. you know, I've got a couple of slots, so I would advise people start like emailing me and taking them. Well, there's a 3 slot, so you just come and... Well, I mean, fundamentally, right, the simplest way to look at it is primarily what I'm going to help you with when you come from a coaching session is I'm going to help you, I'm going to help facilitate the skills that you already have and get you to use them to maximum impact. In other words, I'm more concerned about how you're connecting with the outside as a musician as I am to sort of perfecting something. You know, so looking at the things that are holding you back. And usually a lot of times it's to do with there's some sort of fear angle or disbelief in yourself, or or some sort of negative belief that kind of happens that stops people. So it's kind of looking at those things, doing a positive opposite, and then action planning towards what your next moves are going to be. Sounds good. All right. What was that? A bit laid back for me today, this champ. Alright, so Jaya, hi, how you doing? Tim Tam with the Widdly War Guitar Gym Jams, very nice. The whole world runs on, right, okay. Tim, do you like John Sykes? He's never been an influence on me, John Sykes. So I know nothing about John Sykes apart from he was in Whitesnake. Was he in Tigers of Pantang as well, which is a northeast band? The singer used to manage one of my old bands. Yeah, Operation Mindcrime. Listened to that a few times, like when it first came out. But I was only really listening to guitar playing. I wasn't. The songs are like, they've got some great songs, Queensryche, but the guitar playing didn't cut it for me, and that was probably because I was listening to Racer X at the time. So that'll have trumped absolutely everything, and I'll have only been interested in that. He was, and I think Blue Murder. Vaguely remember who Blue Murder were. Stuck in the 80s. It's the compositions, not the shred, yeah. I agree. No, not Thin Lizzy. Van Halen was a thing, definitely. All the Shrapnel guys were. Greg Howe. Richie Kotzen was a big influence on me. That's where sort of like I really started nailing down on legato, but it was more aggressive legato. Yeah, like old school rock kind of legato, which I don't really do now. It's more like I'm very conscious about what my pull-offs are doing. So I'm not so much, it's really tricky, the technique to do it, but ideally what I want is I want my pull-offs to sound the same as my hammer-ons. So it's that kind of sound, but my secret guitar influence was definitely Alan Murphy from Go West. He's not a secret now because I literally every time I come on the live stream I mention him. So yeah, 17th fret. Whatever I'm playing down here, up there. So just kind of putting the arpeggios up there. I don't specifically have any licks that are up there. Maybe, like stuff that's really stretchy, but I don't do very often. But yeah, it'll be. Hi Elijah, how are you doing? So please do, let's have some more, like, hit the screen if you're watching on your phone, which usually most people are. Give me some more likes, and please subscribe to the channel, because that's important too. Yeah. Like bending up there's a thing. Alright, cool. Whoop, need to tune a bit. What's the 24th fret for? Playing. Providing you can get up there. It's good practice though, like kind of doing the higher frets. Yeah. What's this? Right, 6 minutes of hard rock. All right, hi Russell. So everybody, please remember to subscribe to the channel. That would be great. And like, lots more likes. That would be amazing. So I think the next stream, providing everything goes all right, because I'm going to the gym tonight and I'm not too aching, I fancy doing a stream tomorrow. So my wins, problems and opportunities. Wins are, so this is how I review things, turning up here, playing. My improvisation seems a little bit more consistent. There were a few tracks I just didn't feel for and kind of gave the will to live on. So kind of thinking of ways, well, I don't want to solve any problems, but yes, so like turning up, playing was consistently good. There's a couple of new licks in there which I played, which I was quite happy with. There's a couple of new sort of like areas for chromatic stuff. So the problems are, like, what I've really got my mind set on doing is working on kind of the expanded and compressed hand motion, which isn't quite there yet. So one of the exercises I'm going to be doing to solve this problem is a couple. The first one is this Brett Garsted groups of 4. These are my solutions now. See how the can compresses. So it's that kind of thing. Expanding, contraction. So getting more of that in. That sort of thing. Because it gets you in other positions on the neck quite easily. So those two things. There was one other, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, lazy third finger on this pentatonic lick. So I'm going to try and get a little bit more. I mean, the kind of where I'm crossing the strings sort of horizontally and up is a little bit more tricky. So I don't know how much progress I'll be able to make on that today. But apart from that, it's been pretty good. Where's my mouse gone? Alright guys, so that's enough from me, and I'll see you possibly tomorrow. If not, we'll be on Friday. Alright, bye.